हेलो 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 ऑन है यहाँ वाला भी ऑन नहीं वो वहाँ से ये है ना माइक ऑन हेलो हेलो
for us to put ourselves in leadership with this honor. Greetings to our respected panelists, esteemed guests, faculty members, and all the students present here. I, the Anshu,
and Sakshi, on behalf of the Eco Club and Institutions Innovation Council of Jagannath International Management School, Vasankunj, welcome you all to today's panel discussion on the occasion of the 50th World Environment Day in collaboration with Honeywell and the ICT Academy. You can change all things for the better when you change yourself for the better. On this positive note, I would like to formally commence the event and take a moment to introduce our reputed college. Established in 2003 as an affiliated college of Guru Gobind Singh Intertrust University, Delhi, Jagannath International Management School, that is JIMS Vasankunj, has made rapid strides in the area of imparting quality higher education at the undergraduate level to emerge as one of the topmost colleges of the university. The college has been awarded the highest grade, A+, by the Joint Assessment Committee of the university and the Government of NCT of Delhi, and the University Academic of the Government of NCT of Delhi has also awarded the Institute A+, the highest grade for its quality systems. To cap it all, the Institute has been one of the pioneers among all the colleges in Delhi who have gone for accreditation by the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, that is NAAC, Bengaluru, in 2010. It is indeed a matter of great pride for us to announce that in the third cycle of accreditation by NAAC, the college has been awarded A+ grade with a 3.43 score on a 4-point scale. This achievement of JIMS Vasankunj makes it one of the topmost colleges of GCSI University, Delhi.
I would now like to take this moment to introduce the Eco Club of JIMS Vasankunj. The club, with the motto, Think Responsibly, Act Sustainable, aims to create environmental awareness by educating the youth and offering programs and resources for the students to make life on Earth more sustainable. The club works towards empowering individuals to take up meaningful environmental activities which emphasize them regarding ongoing issues and sustainable development. Action-based activities like plantation drives, e-waste drives, waste management, cleanliness drives like Swachhata Pakhwada, Swachhata Abhiyan, the Green Up Rally, Best Auto Waste, Green Diwali campaign, wetland visits are just some of the activities undertaken by the club to build a clean and healthy environment. By promoting good environmental behavior, the club is committed to instilling the importance of living sustainably and mobilizing action against environmentally unsound practices.
Now, I would like to introduce the Institution's Innovation Council of JIMS Vasankunj. IIC was established on 21st November 2018 at JIMS Vasankunj as per the norms and directives of the MHRD Innovation Cell. Government of India has established MIC at AICTE with the purpose of systematically fostering the culture of innovation in all higher education institutions across the country. The primary mandate of Innovation Cell is to encourage, inspire, and nurture young students by exposing them to new ideas and processes, resulting in innovative activities in their formative years, fostered through the network of innovation clubs in higher education institutions.
We are delighted to welcome you all to unite for a sustainable planet and dedicate this day to our environment. World Environmental Day, a globally celebrated event on the 5th of June every year, plays a crucial role in raising awareness and fostering action for the protection and preservation of our environment. Recognizing the urgent environmental challenges that our world faces today, it becomes increasingly important to actively engage and empower college students as they represent the future leaders who will shape the destiny of our planet. To advance this noble cause, Honeywell, a renowned global technology and manufacturing company committed to sustainability, has joined forces with the ICT Academy, a leading platform facilitating industry-academia collaboration.
Now, I would like to introduce our esteemed panel of guests. We have with us today Ms. Smita Pandey Mishra, Charter Member, Founder, and CEO at Pandoro Technologies. I request Soumya to kindly present the plant of demand. Joshi, Energy Advisor at Sustainable Communities India Private Limited. I request Prerna to kindly present the plant of research. Ms. Astuti Jindal, Senior Solution Engineer at Oracle India. I request Bhavya to kindly present the plant of demand. Department, MEP at Temple Engineering Center. I request Soumya to kindly present the planted research. Dr. Vidya Gupta, R&D Manager at Honeywell. I request Prerna to kindly present the planted research. Our keynote speaker, Mr. Hitesh Mehta, Country General Manager at Honeywell Advanced, who will not be able to grace us with his presence but will join us on site. Ms. Sita Lakshmi Nair, Senior Community Relations Specialist at Honeywell. I request Bhavya to kindly present the planted woman. Mr. Suresh Babu, Associate Vice President, ICT Academy. I request Soumya to kindly present the planted research. Dr. Meenakshi Narula, Head of IT Department of King's Vasankunj. I request Prerna to kindly present the planted demand.
Now, to start this event on an auspicious note, we request all the dignitaries to kindly come forward to light the lamp and inaugurate the event.
I feel privileged to introduce you all to our Head of IT Department, Dr. Meenakshi Narula, who is having more than 25 years of industry and academic experience. She is having consistent academic record with PhD in Computer Science and postgraduate degrees of MTech in Information Technology and MSc in Mathematics. Apart from heading the IT Department of GIMS for the last 15 years, she is also the program coordinator of the CA program of Guru Gobind Singh Intertrust University. She has been instrumental in division of the syllabus of BCA, coordinating with more than 25 affiliated colleges of the university offering BCA programs. Before joining academics, she has worked in the industry and has been involved in developing software for banking, housing finance, and education sectors. She has published and presented many research papers in the areas of soft computing, fuzzy logics, and expert systems in various conferences and journals. We request you, ma'am, to kindly address the audience. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
It is our privilege to welcome all the dignitaries from different industries and who have made it for this World Environment Day. And on behalf of our esteemed chairman, Dr. Amit Gupta, and Dr. Ravi Kedar, our director, sir, I would extend my hearty welcome to all our guests. You all have gathered here to have this panel discussion. I feel privileged to welcome Mrs. Smita Pandey Mishra, Mr. Anil Kumar, Mr. Advait, Mr. Stuti, and Ms. Sita, and our old friends from ICT Academy, Mr. Suresh Babu, and our hearty welcome to Dr. Vidya Gupta from Honeywell, and Mr. Hitesh, who is going to join us on live. And we are co-hosting this event with collaboration with Honeywell and ICT Academy. And I would also like to welcome all the students who have made it on this weekend, on Saturday, and being the part of this panel discussion. So our students will definitely understand about the conservation of environment, and we are celebrating this World Environment Day with the panels of experts, and they are going to enlighten our students on various aspects of conservation of environment, our nature and our natural resources. Our students will definitely understand the importance of sustaining these resources and contribute towards the conservation of these invaluable assets. I am thankful to Honeywell for taking up the responsibility of spreading the importance of waste management, biodiversity conservation, technology advancements, and sustainability practices, and also the issues related to climate change, and most importantly, the theme of this year World Environment Day, that is plastic waste management. I hope this session will be very insightful and engaging and informative for our students. As human beings, we all have the responsibility to take care of the environment where we exist, and it is very important for us, and it is our duty also to preserve and keep everything in check. Throughout the years, there have been many movements and awareness campaigns around the world that have put forth to make people environmentally conscious. In 1970s, Chipko movement carried out by the rural villagers, particularly women, was directed towards stopping the government from cutting down trees and demolishing forests for various reasons. One Mahotsav is yet another initiative, an annual tree planting festival that goes on for a week in the month of July, which was initiated in 1950 by K.M. Munshi, the Union Minister, then the Union Minister for Agriculture and Food. There were also many others like the Save Silent Valley Management movement, the Jangal Bachao Andolan, Terry Dam movement, and recently initiated movement by Sadhguru, Rally Root Rivers, and so on. We at our institute have been following the same path for the past few years. We have established a students' eco club, as you might have heard from our student, the activities which are being carried out by eco club, and it is very necessary that all of us as inhabitants of this planet understand the need to be aware of our surroundings and find ways to protect it in every possible way. It is not just enough for us to be aware, but also let the others know that we owe a great deal of respect and concern for all that the earth we live in is providing us with. So here we are today to hold hands with Honeywell and ICT Academy in making every little difference we can together. Let us stand together and make this world a wonderful place, not just for us, but for the future generations as well. To only one earth and giving more time for nature. Thank you very much.
Now, I would like to introduce Ms. Sita Lakshmi Nayak. She is a development professional with more than a decade of experience in program planning, designing, budgeting, verbal and written communication, impact and process documentation, and training. She has worked with the media, corporate, and development sector. As a passionate orator and presenter, she has attended several seminars and conferences, both as a resource person and as a participant. We request you to kindly address the gathering.
A very warm good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure and privilege to be here today Thank you so much for having me here today. Honeywell, as a company, as a responsible corporate citizen, sustainability is at the core of our operations. And as a business, we focus mainly on the sustainability solutions, and as a technology leader, we focus on innovations and technologies that can promote a more sustainable future. As our tagline goes, the future is what we make it. So from that point of view, future, we want to make it as more sustainable. From the CSR point of view, so this is a specific event that has been an initiative of the CSR of Honeywell, Corporate Social Responsibility Wing of the Honeywell. From the CSR, our major focus area has been two major thematic focus. One is STEM education, STEM broadly, where we focus on education, upskilling and research in the areas of STEM. And then we focus on sustainability as one of our larger focus areas. So why sustainability is important to us? I mean, not just because of the Environment Day and we want to speak about it, but if we want to have a more secure, more breathable, more healthy future to us and our future generation, I think everyone, I mean, not just the individual, not just the corporate, not just the government, has to be a collaborated effort to drive solutions, drive innovations, drive activities, everything around creating more sustainable future. And that is what we at CSR is also focusing on, and that's the reason we are focusing on sustainability. This is an initiative that we have started to bring younger generation in the path of thinking more greener and how they can contribute, not just changing their lifestyle every day, but also largely how we can create more more upskilled workforce for the future of work, which is getting prepared, especially in the sustainability and green segment. So, as you are aware, green jobs will be opening up in large numbers. If I could just quote a recent study that has come up, JP Morgan has conducted a study in which they are forecasting that close to 3.5 crore jobs will be created by 2047 in the area of sustainability and green jobs. So that is the kind of potential we have. So when we talk about creating a sustainable future, we are serious about it. It is not just about planting trees. It is not just about having some humanitarian aids, but it is about creating the entire ecosystem. From the job, from creating solutions, from creating technologies that focuses on sustainability, whether it is green hydrogen, whether it is green mobility, whether it is waste management, plastic circularity, something that we will be discussing at length today. So all the solutions actually look at how do we create a more sustainable future, and we are serious about it. And that is why we want to prepare a future generation which is ready and upskilled to take up this great potential and opportunity which is coming up in the sustainability segment. And that is why we are happy to partner with organizations like ICT Academy. They have been one of the greatest partners who just ground and implement whatever our perceptions and ethos are. And I'm really thankful for colleges like GIMS, who have partnered with ICT Academy to actually ground these activities that we envisage in our own room. So thank you so much to them. But definitely this is an opportunity. This session will actually give you an enlightenment on what is the kind of opportunities as youngsters you can look forward to contributing your bit, not just as an environmentalist per se, but also as a worker, as a professional. So please be attentive and take the most that you can and adopt in your lifestyle and in your career as well. I also thank and welcome those who have joined the session from Pan India, who have joined virtually. Thank you so much. Once again, I request everyone to kindly make small but strong effort to create cleaner tomorrows every day in your actions. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone.
so much, ma'am, for your wise words. I would now like to introduce Mr. Suresh Babu, who is the Associate Vice President with ICT Academy. ICT Academy is an initiative of India's government in collaboration with the state governments and industries. A not-for-profit organization, the first of its kind, venture under the public-private partnership model, working to develop the next generation talent pool for the nation. Having been endorsed and recommended by the NITI Aayog, ICT Academy works with more than 2,600 colleges across India. Mr. Babu started his journey with ICT in 2009 as a relationship manager and is on a mission of creating new generation talent pool by bridging industry and academia in India. I would like to request sir to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning. Thank you very much for that introduction. First of all, I would like to thank all the panelists because in a very short notice, of course, just without saying, Sita, Rishi, and Rajonas, the I also thank the management, the chairman, the director, the management, that the first 6 months we are so grateful to the Gyms Institute for hosting this. Sustainability is something new to us. We never, the last 13 years, we always been still the witnesses of how we are trying to focus area. Sustainability is something new. But we want to embrace this and we want to spread a strong awareness among the future generation on sustainability. Because Sita had to come to very modern companies making a request that sustainability has to be embraced and it has to be followed by the students in a big way, considering the kind of planet we are living in. So this year we are also started thinking in that direction of how we can also move in the direction of sustainability. Thankfully, we have also initiated talks with Honeywell to set up a sustainability COE to begin with in Madurai, and probably over a period of time we will have such a sustainability center of excellences created across the nation, which will train the teachers and the students on various aspects of sustainability like plastic circularity and so on and so forth. So that talks are on, but otherwise we are always thankful to Honeywell because this partnership we are continuing for the last 3 years now. Till now, through their patronage, we were able to impact close to around 14,000 students, and this year we are again planning to impact close to around 6,300 students. So to put together, we are Honeywell and ICT Academy has partnered and created a life-changing moment for close to around 50,000 students till now, and another 6,000 to 7,000 students will get trained in the ongoing financial year as well. So we are ever grateful for this kind of an initiative, and whenever we start something new, it starts with Honeywell. Whether it is sustainability or whether it is a large-scale skill development. 2021 we started off with a large-scale skill development project with Honeywell, that too on a global certification. That was something new to us, though we had tried global certification at a very small level. That was the one project which helped us to create a global certified workforce for the industry. So close to around 5,500 students were trained. And today we are talking about sustainability. We are in a very nascent stage of adopting sustainability, and now this program is done with Honeywell. So we are ever thankful and ever grateful to the leadership of Honeywell. Madam Pooja is not here today because this is a program itself is a brainchild of Madam and Sita actually. So thank you very much for giving us this opportunity, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Hitesh Mehta who joined virtually and the panel members, the Indian panel members, will be able to help you understand what are all the models in which you can play a part in preserving this world, making it as a more best planet to live. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for addressing the audience. I would now like to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Hitesh Mehta. Mr. Hitesh is a highly passionate, motivated, hands-on, and result-driven country general management professional, having 25 years of proven track record with leading organizations like Atotech, AkzoNobel, and 3M. He has expertise in leading businesses, P&L, businesses turnaround, handling greenfield projects, strategic planning and execution, and operations management. He has successfully driven profitable P&L, managing large teams with focus on business development, key account, channel management, and operational efficiency improvement. He is an enterprising and customer-focused leader with a natural ability to build and turn around businesses based on deep understanding of the current and emerging industry trends. He has led multiple business models for industrial consumables, specialty chemicals, paints, adhesives, etc., and is currently responsible for Atotech companies in India, which include manufacturing, commercial operations, and a greenfield global R&D setup. We welcome you, sir, and request you to kindly address the panel.
Thank you for the nice introduction. I would like to first of all welcome dear Sir Ravi Dhar, the director of Jagannath International Management School, the respected panel speakers, Mr. Anil Kumar Mittal, Head of Department, MEP, Bengal Engineering Center, Mr. Advait Joshi, Senior Advisor, Institute of Sustainable Communities, Ms. Smita Pandey Mishra, Chartered Member of TIE Delhi NCR, Founder, Fanduro Technologies, Ms. Astuti Jindal, Senior Solution Engineer, Oracle India, and my dear colleague, Ms. Vidya, and all the academicians, dear students, and everyone who have joined me from Pan India. A warm good morning to you all. And I welcome you all to this insightful panel discussion, EnviroSpark, on sustainability and plastic circularity, a much needed topic in the current context. So I hope I'm audible and there's no lag because of the network. Thank you. Thank you. So as we talk of sustainability, it's almost like a buzzword these days. But honestly speaking, sustainability is the key to a better future. As we know, sustainability is the ability to exist and develop without depleting the natural resources and keep them for the future generations. As the world's population continues to grow, it is becoming even more important to find ways to preserve our natural resources. And for a country like India, who's just become the most populous country in the world, promoting sustainable development is all the more important, and it's the need of the hour. As we speak, based on the statistics, we know that we are losing nearly 80,000 acres of tropical rainforest every day. 63% of India's districts are threatened by falling groundwater levels. Our country is the third largest carbon emitter in the world, and energy sector contributes more than 70% of it. Now, I've had some discussions with people in the industry who take solace in the fact that, look, we are 17% of the world population, we only contribute 4% of the carbon emission. Well, I would not take that as an excuse, but still the fact that we are one of the most populous country, and if we do not really look at sustainable ways, we could soon be like a runaway train with high carbon emissions. In addition to this, global warming and acidification of the oceanic waters are annihilating our coral reefs and the ocean ecosystem. 40% of the global population will be adversely impacted by land degradation. And as we speak, these are real threats to our environment, effects of which we will see in our own lifetime. So as we all recognize this problem, who's going to work on the solution? Now, I believe that as a major contribution to the nation's development, the businesses must be super conscious in investing in sustainable solutions, and they play a vital role in defining the future. Being a very, very conscious and committed corporate citizen, we at Honeywell, sustainability is an integral part of who we are. Happy to share that 60% of Honeywell's R&D goes into sustainable technology development. We are working towards emissions monitoring, carbon capture and sequestering, plastic circularity, low global warming potential refrigerants, sustainable buildings, ethanol to jet, to name a few among a lot of technologies that we work to drive towards sustainability. I would just, want to share a little bit example in terms of how, without knowing, we also continue to add, to the global warming impact in our daily lives. I'm not sure if large part of our audience is aware that the air conditioners that we use to make our life comfortable, our rooms cooler and our homes more livable, significantly add to the global warming. And this addition to the global warming is not due to the hot air exhaust that comes out from the other end of the air conditioner, but it's basically the refrigerants that go into the air conditioner for doing the cooling effect are itself adding to the global warming, because the currently used refrigerants have a global warming potential which can be as high as equivalent to 1:3,000 times of the carbon dioxide created global warming. So you can imagine that how much damage is already happening to the environment by the use of the refrigerants that we currently use. And Honeywell has been at the forefront of developing low global warming refrigerants, which will help us fight this problem to a great extent. I'm also happy to share that the cutting edge technology work on some of the streams that I mentioned earlier, the work is being done in India, as we have a large technology development center based out of India. Now, as I said, as a responsible corporate citizen, our CSR programs are also aligned to our business ethos, and we commit ourselves for the environment conservation in form of water and soil conservation, increasing green cover through plantations, promotion of ecosystem-based adaptive agriculture, creating climate change resilient communities, and promotion of clean energy solution, among a variety of things that we continue to do. So while we spoke about the role of the industry, in my view, the context of sustainability and future of Earth must be and should be associated with the younger generation, what we all like to call the Gen Z. And I'm sure a large part of our audience today is part of this generation. The issue of global warming due to exploitation and exploration of the natural resources can very conveniently be said to be a result from the previous generation policies and actions. Having said that, the impact will be felt by the current and the future generations. So while the previous generation who exploits the resources must pay attention to the future, but at the same time, I think there is an increased need for the current and the future generation to be conscious of this fact. And hence, it is vital that we help the next generation to participate in the green economy. And this can be done in multiple ways. Firstly, with teaching the skills to design a better future and create value from sustainability. Streams around sustainability have a great scope to be part of the academic curriculum, and there could be, and there are already coming up specialized courses in this direction. Second important area where the future generation, the Gen Z, can impact this is by change in lifestyle. Each generation has different characteristics and behaviors, and it is important now that we adapt our lifestyle to a more sustainable way of living, making more eco-conscious decisions. Thirdly, we need to all drive the industry to bring in more sustainable products and solutions. And this can be done by deciding where we spend our money and what type of companies we work for. Part of this lifestyle change is also saying no to the single-use plastics. I know that we are going to talk about the subject a little bit more in detail during the panel discussion, but just to set the context here, plastic usage has quadrupled in the last 30 years and is set to double in the next 20. Unfortunately, only 9% of the waste currently gets recycled. Hence, this is an area that requires more focus and action. Lastly, the Gen Z can contribute by demanding action on climate change from those in power. Now, the encouraging part here is that this generation is aware of the impact that the climate change has on the earth and are willing to adapt their behavior accordingly in order to achieve a more sustainable lifestyle and ensure the future integrity of this planet. And for that reason, I'm really happy that events like this will help us further our objective to spread environmental awareness and create a next generation which is carbon conscious. Sustainability is a habit. We need to encourage such behaviors in all our spheres of life that contribute towards keeping a check on our carbon footprint and promoting more sustainable living. I would like to, in fact, share a small example of how small steps can be taken in this direction. This is more of a personal, action that I took a year back, where at our household we decided to shun all single-use plastic, and every time we even go to shop in the market, we carry a reusable bag. It's always there in the car, so that we don't need to depend on the single-use plastic, and we do our bit not to add to the increasing pollution. So here I would really strongly encourage all our audiences to look at their day-to-day life and see how we can be contributing to creating a more sustainable future. In the end, I would like to thank ICT Academy, GINS, and the students and experts from the different industries who have joined the session today. For the efforts to create a greener future, because future is what we make it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful address. Let us now move on to the next part of today's event and start with the panel discussion. We are honored to introduce to you the moderator for today's session, Dr. Vidya Gupta. Dr. Gupta has 14 years of enriched industrial experience and 4 years of research experience. She is working as a R&D manager in Honeywell Advanced Material Division and leading a team who works in the area of packaging, additives, refrigerants, and fluoropolymers. She has worked as an application development manager in packaging and specialty plastics and developed new applications in the flexible packaging industry using a wide spectrum of Dow Resins portfolio for food and specialty film, industrial films, and hygiene and health applications. She has experience in BOPP packaging films, innovative projects for new development, and worked on various projects like chain extender for recycled PET, halogen-free flame retardant compounds, maleic anhydride grafts, high ML5 EP, 3-layer nylon film, wood plastic composites, etc.
Now, I would like to introduce our esteemed panelists. We are privileged to have among us Mr. Anil Kumar Mittal, business-wise and technically strong, with significant experience in drawing up and implementing business growth strategies. He is passionate about operational efficiency measures, leading large teams and project management. He has 35 years of experience in public as well as private sector, setting up new business units, providing growth and stability, program management to design management, and business growth. He has authored a well-designed manual for high-rise construction, several prestigious national and international projects like Commonwealth Games, Yamuna Expressway, which count figure is the list of assignments he has had the opportunity to contribute to. Alumnus of IIT, BHU, and University of Illinois, USA, he is grounded in the best academic standards and practices.
Next we have with us today Ms. Astuti Jindal. She has over 12 years of experience in corporate IT, which is implementation and pre-sales. She holds a strength in understanding customer requirements well and likes to be a trusted advisor to the customers and help them with their data management strategies for the digital transformational journey. She is responsible for sales consulting, formulating RPF, RFI's response, POQ creation, delivering product pitches and solution presentations, and product demos to the prospects and converting them to customers. She is a seasoned professional with an experience of end-to-end master data management, implementations, data quality and data migration projects, starting from consulting, analysis, design, development, and support in various domains like pharma, shipping, and aviation. Ms. Aswati Jindal has diversified knowledge of MDM, data quality, data governance, data analytics, big data, and cloud data integration concepts, and has represented Informatica in various marketing, partner, and third-party events across India. She also got a chance to act as a speaker at multiple Informatica events and partner events.
We also have with us today Mr. Advait Joshi, passionate about creating sustainable impact and leaving a better world for future generations. He has several years of experience in management and partnerships. He has led India's most trusted decentralized renewable energy platform, Clean Energy Access Network. Prior to this role, Mr. Advait Joshi has led, coached, and built teams in impact startups to influence over $14 million funds for social development in India.
Next, we have with us Ms. Smita Pandey-Mishra, who is the founder CEO of Honeywell Technologies, a SaaS startup and consulting firm that helps businesses become planet positive through the adoption of the UN Sustainable Development Goals framework. She is an experienced entrepreneur with a demonstrated history of working in the financial services, retail, banking, and utility industries. As a computer science engineer, she is skilled in data analytics and user experience. She is also adept in the areas of business risk mitigation for tech products as well as project product test management. Besides being an international speaker on technology and diversity in tech, Ma'am also engages with different forums to assist growth for women in her field. She is a young sustainable innovator at UNGC. It is indeed an honor for us to have you all present here with us today.
We would now like to show a video on sustainability. Mr. Anil Kumar Mittal, one of our panelists, has requested that we should watch it. Let's have a look at it.
तो कौन सी क्लास में कहाँ जाता है? अच्छा, क्या क्या कौन कौन से सब्जेक्ट पढ़ता है? तो साइंस वगैरह इंग्लिश में है हिंदी में? हिंदी में, अच्छा। हाँ। तो तुम्हें मैडम ये भी बताती है कि जो ऐसे कूड़ा जो है सड़क पे नहीं फेंकना चाहिए? हाँ। शाबाश। तो अब तू कूड़ा फेंकता था कहीं? अब जैसे कोल्ड ड्रिंक का गिलास पिया तूने, तो अभी कहाँ फेंकेगा इसको? हाँ। और जो सब्जी के छिलके होते हैं वो कहाँ फेंकते हो? कूड़ा फिर कहाँ फेंक के आते हो? खत्ता कहाँ है? हाँ। कौन लेके जाता है? कोई आता है यहाँ पर कूड़ा लेने आता है?
नहीं सर, यहाँ पर तो कम निकलता है तो मांगर में आते हैं उधर।
तो तुम वहाँ डाल के आते हो?
यस सर, जब हमारे यहाँ होता था तो हम लोग वहाँ पर डाल देते थे।
क्या नाम है तुम्हारा?
शिवा।
शिवा।
That video really made us think us all about our life choices.
I now request our esteemed panelists to kindly come up on the dais for the panel discussion. Now, I request our moderator for today's session, Dr. Vidya Gupta, to kindly take over and start with the panel discussion.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Panel discussion. It's like really wonderful to see the video, and it already set the context that how or what we need to discuss today, right? So as we all know that, and we talk so much about sustainability. So sustainability is not a buzzword nowadays, right? It is essential part of our day-to-day life. So with the world population growing and all these energy demands and everything is rising, right? So this is the way we have to think about the sustainability aspects. So now I will just start with the today's discussion, and my first question will I ask Mr. Anil, that it's all the organizations, they wanted to meet their carbon footprints, and they face a lot of challenges in that to define that how they can reduce this carbon footprints. Their roadmaps are not so clear, right? So in terms of that, being a Rambo is a global architecture consultancy company. So what would be your strategy to define that this how you can work towards decarbonization on net zero side?
Thank you. Thank you everyone for calling me and giving this opportunity also to you. As the context has been said that our audience is the Gen Z generation, and they are the most responsible generation because they have to really take up the ownership of controlling the environment, because it has been rightly said by the previous speaker that we were not aware of climate changes that has happened because of our actions in our generation, but you have to face that music, and it is your responsibility now to make those amends and reduce the impact that has already taken place. So before I answer your question, I would like to tell our audience about certain keywords. I'm not sure if they know about it. So you must have heard several keywords around sustainability, decarbonization, carbon footprint, carbon emission. So these are all the same terminologies spoken in different contexts, right? And why it happened? Because our actions are impacting generation of carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide gets generated because of mining, because of fuel consumption, because of tree cutting, and so many of them, directly or indirectly. Whenever energy is consumed, we generate carbon dioxide. And when we generate carbon dioxide, it gets accumulated in the atmosphere. It prevents transmission of heat to the upper atmosphere. It gets accumulated, and ultimately it causes global warming. We have temperatures rising, glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising, floods are caused. I mean, it is an entire chain. So I just wanted to tell you about these terminologies, because sometimes even I used to get confused in the recent years why these different terms are being coined. So coming back to your question, basically industries are facing challenges because of their lack of awareness about the sustainability. So I'm not talking about MNCs or giant companies. They already have this knowledge, they have already started implementing measures around it. But what I am talking about is the small sector and medium enterprise, because there are plethora of industries who are, because of the shortage of funds, because of lack of awareness, lack of time, or lack of knowledge, expert knowledge, they are not able to mitigate those actions. So they are not aware that when they are discharging chemicals or sewage into river, they are not aware how much damage they are causing. They are emitting smoke through chimneys in the atmosphere, carbon dioxide, unburned carbon or carbon monoxide. So they are not installing any smoke extraction devices, smoke arresters. So and spending a few dollars or few million of rupees, they can prevent this, but they are not really aware of it. So that is the first challenge. I think people like they can always come in between and they can support them. The second challenge is lack of regulations and enforcement. So we have enough number of regulations framed by government, but in countries like India or Asian countries, we always get away with our methods and do not implement all these measures because the enforcement is weak. So from this point of view, I think industries have to focus on it. They have to learn it. As Rambol, we committed ourselves to Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement says that by 2030, you should reduce your consumption by 45%, carbon emission by 45%. And by 2050, you should be net zero. Net zero means whatever you are drawing from the nature, you are replenishing. So we have set our 21-25 strategy, 2021 to 2025, and we have beautifully coined 4 terms which covers entire aspect of sustainability. These are decarbonization, resilient societies where human life thrives, circularity and resource management. So whatever resources you are consuming it wisely, whether you are recycling it, using it, and then biodiversity. So we know that without biodiversity, without flora, fauna, or animals, insects, we cannot survive. So we have to pay attention to them also. And during COVID period, you have seen videos like entire sea, fishes, whales used to come to our shore and they were thriving. So we have also we have stopped working for oil and gas sector, because oil and gas sector we consider it a major culprit who is extracting maximum amount of fossil fuels, which we are advocating against. So we have stopped working for this sector. Of course, it will impact our business, but as an ethical company, we have stopped.
Okay, great. So thank you so much, Anilji, for this insightful point. Now coming back, as you already said that there is no set policies. So that's what I will come to Advait for this question, that what are the sustainable policies forward for net zero and for decarbonization in India, and what are the key challenges you found?
Thank you so much, Indra. And thank you for cueing me into this conversation. And first of all, let me thank everybody over here who is spending this precious amount of time that we have on this particular topic discussion. Coming to policies, yes, I think all of us, Indian citizens in particular, would like to complain a lot that we are not doing, India as a country is not doing a lot of things. But I think it's important to take a step back, and like Anilji mentioned, India has been putting out policies on a timely basis, on a regular basis, to mitigate the challenges that we see on environment. Environment was the buzzword probably 10 years ago. The last 10 years, the buzzword has moved to sustainability, and I'm sure the next 5 years we'll see decarbonization as the buzzword. So if you go back, some of the earlier policies were around EPR, which was around plastic recycling. Other policies are net zero discharge of water from industries. Recently, if you look at it, the government has been pushing a lot of policies towards adoption of renewable energy, be it the national solar rooftop policy, be it the Kusum policy for farmers, which focuses on solar water pumps, to even looking at clean air action plans. In fact, India is one of the first countries in the world to have adopted and published the National Cooling Action Plan. All of us know about heat waves, but India is the first country to have really put forward an ambitious target, a policy behind it, to work on those actions. Now, all of this is great to hear, and it feels like, we are saved. But no, all of this doesn't really work like that. Policy is developed. I'll not get into how it is developed, but typically policies come when we, as stakeholders, demand it. Be it via citizens, be it via industries, be it via academia plays a big role in this. And the basis that policies are developed. How do they get implemented is where we identify a lot of bottlenecks. For example, ISC has been involved in this program called Clean Air Accelerator program, where we were tasked to build capacity of urban local body corporations across Maharashtra to help them implement projects on reducing air pollution. Now, this is a program that is driven from the center, which is the Central Pollution Control Board, but the implementation task is given to the state climate department, the state pollution control board, and further down it trickles to local industries via industry associations, via local companies or startups, clean tech startups who are bringing in solutions. Now, this population of tasks is where a lot of collaboration and coalitions are required to make it successful. For us, the task was to really build capacity of corporations and leaders of the corporations. I was just giving an example before this that if you look at some of the work, like Mumbai Municipal Corporation, which is one of the richest corporations in India, gets allocated close to 350 crores of budgets annually to mitigate its air pollution problems. But at the same time, smaller towns in Maharashtra, which also face air pollution problems, get smaller quantities of funds. It could be ranging anywhere between a few lakhs to maybe just a couple of crores. This is where policy implementation becomes a bottleneck.
Absolutely. Those kind of barriers need to be addressed.
Exactly. Same thing, I think in today's world, since we are addressing clean technologies, many of these technologies are new age technologies. What Mr. Mehta mentioned, that the refrigerators that are coming into place are innovative refrigerants. Whenever we think about innovative refrigerants and we want national level policies to implement them, because there is no precedence to it, it's difficult to implement it at scale. So there has to be a steps of implementing this policy at a pilot level, then expanding it to multiple states, and then rolling it out to national level. So policy often is seen as a government job. I think policy should be seen as a step taken by the government, but implemented by us all. And let me take a pause there, and of course, policy is a big topic to cover in 5 minutes.
I do understand. Thank you so much, Abdul, for your point of view that as policies are definitely not only to make just to be followed and need to be understood by everyone, right? And in view of that, I will just ask now Smita, as you are into the fostering entrepreneurship, right? So do you see any mindset changes in budding entrepreneurs, or they come up with the ideas to address decarbonization or any projects in sustainability?
Thank you so much, Vidya, for asking me this. Again, thank you, James and ICT team and Honeywell team for having me here amongst the esteemed panelists. Before I start responding to Ms. Vidya, I wanted to, just by a show of hands, wanted to understand how many of you study sustainability as part of your curriculum in some form? And how many of you want to be an entrepreneur? That's good, thanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, good. I'll have some community here. All right, great. So just to respond to what Dr. Vidya is asking. See, by nature, by basic nature of being an entrepreneur, our mindsets are those of a problem solver, risk taker. We have a systemic thinking approach, long-term approach, because we want to make while we want to do good, we definitely want to make good profits also. So by the nature of our approach and by the nature of our work, by virtue we happen to be risk takers and problem solvers. Now come to think of mindset compared, especially for sustainability. So we as entrepreneurs, definitely our community looks at it as an opportunity, first thing. Why? Because one, an opportunity to make impactful change on the society, on the planet, because this is of course much needed. If we be any bit responsible, we want to make sure that we all survive, our businesses survive, whether it is through climate resilience, through climate adaptation. So we are looking at those ways and those opportunities to build businesses. When you say mindset change, so by nature we've been into this, that we look at sustainability as an opportunity. And when I say that, let me also underline, in this decade, like we've been talking about digitalization, particularly in post-COVID era, we realized that if a business is not digital, it's probably not going to be able to survive. So today, we believe that sustainability is going to be what digitalization has been in the last decade. So if you want to survive, your business will have to have sustainability as an integral part of it. Coming to the mindset change, there have been things which have gradually changed, not just for decarbonization and projects and sustainability. And when we talk sustainability, it is much beyond just environment. We are also talking about social. We are also talking about corporate governance. We're talking about building ethical systems. And let me also highlight this, that as an entrepreneur, as a business, the G is such an important pillar, the governance. Because without governance, it doesn't matter how much you're trying to work on the environment or social side, the business is going to fall flat. So if you want to continue to build change in the society, we as entrepreneurs have had a mindset change for certain towards being more ethical and more transparent. The other quick aspects are we've become more customer-centric, because today's customers, these are our customers, right? The upcoming target audiences, the upcoming generation which is in the target audience. These are our customers, these are our talent pools, and they don't want to work with a business which is without a purpose. At least that's what I'm told. I'm sure a lot of people here, they can agree, disagree. So those, again, we've become more customer-centric towards a new generation, so I'm seeing that as a change. People are focusing more on what they need, and they definitely want to see more responsible behavior from entrepreneurship. And final thing is embracing technology. New technologies are coming up, whether it is decarbonization. So the reason is, you can only offset so much, right? There is going to be certain emissions that you are going to have when you're having some operations. So there is only so much you can offset or reduce, and then you have to work on new technologies to actually be able to take it down further. Because in your current operations, with your current systems, there is only so much you can reduce. So technology embracement has become very, very fast in this space, so that's under mindset change. And because of all of these, we are certainly seeing very new projects. We are seeing agri-tech, clean tech, we are seeing, I would say, hydro-tech. We are seeing so many climate tech, and so many technology spaces are coming up with a huge focus on technologies like AI, blockchain, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a huge part of sustainability because there's a vulnerable population trying to catch up with all the technology changes. So these are the aspects that we would, I would like to say that contributing towards it.
There are various elements of sustainability which need to be embraced or we need to work on. There is a very vast area actually. So coming back to Astuti now, as she is from technology background, I would like to ask this question that what is the role of technology in sustainability? What do you think?
Thank you so much, Vidya, for the question. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, ICT, James, and Anil for inviting me and participating in this panel discussion. And thanks, Smita, for setting the context in terms of how technology has a role play when it comes to sustainability. And as you rightly quoted that with so much of tech coming in, it has a great and a big role to play. And we, as of now, are living in technology era. There is no stream, there is no area, there is no industry that is untouched by technology. We, as of now, are able to conduct this panel discussion and can virtually touch some people more of the people present in this particular hall. I was told approximately 5,000 students are attending this. It's all possible because of technology. So all collaboration and awareness that we are creating is made possible only via technology. So action speaks louder than words, so that kind of a thing. Now, coming back to the question of where the technology has a role play. So, we have so many new technologies like Smita quoted as of now in terms of blockchain, artificial intelligence, big data, IoT, Internet of Things, which are actually paving way and are driving unprecedented innovation in the field of environment and sustainability. There is so much more of innovation needed, and there is so much of more application needed for the already present technical innovations to address the pressing issues of which are present in the environmental and sustainability era. So we have every industry, be it energy sector, is being facilitated by the use of technology to enable the use of reusable energy forms in the form of solar energy, wind power, thermal, etc. Use of energy management systems, smart grids, are enabling the energy efficiency for that matter. As it's been said in one of the reports of World Economic Forum, that IoT would actually help in reaping benefits close to $1.3 trillion by 2030 in environmental and economic aspects by reducing the greenhouse gas emissions and waste generation and water consumption. So we do understand that technology has a great role to play. There's so many pillars of technology, be it GIS, which is Geographic Information Systems. Drones are being heavily used these days, or satellite imagery, which is being heavily used for planning of or for identifying the illegal activities in terms of deforestation or illegal fishing. So, be it supply chain area, wherein supply chain has a very key role, and we have got to know this in COVID times very well, when the supply chain was badly hampered. So it has a key role to play in our day-to-day life, as well as in context to manufacturing or sustainability. So applying IT tools and technology for sustainable supply chain management is very critical. Not only because it enables you to have a transparent and a traceability towards your entire supply chain, value chain. It also helps you, like technologies like blockchain, helps you in doing ethical sourcing. So we understand there is a material called cobalt, which is heavily used in automobiles. So if you have to do an ethical sourcing of that, blockchain has a key role to play. And we have automotive giants who are using this for doing ethical sourcing. Now if I come to, because I come from Oracle, so it would be interesting for me to highlight where Oracle has a play and where big giants like Oracle are contributing to technology. Because technology, when we talk, also has a, people have a mindset that we are also contributors to carbon emissions. So we have to be responsible ourselves to clean our plate first. So more and more industries are moving towards cloud. So have resource sharing, and they are actually shutting down their standalone hardwares and moving to cloud and cutting down. Large enterprises are cutting down up to 70% of their CO2 emissions by this. And we have technology. We have organizations who are using technology for actually tackling the marine pollution. And as an Oracle, we have solutions which are helping our customers to actually think sustainably and design our solutions in a more environment-friendly way, their products more environment-friendly way. We have solutions wherein they can actually report, analyze the impact of their industry on the environment, the ESG reporting, and further improvise on their the impacts they are making to the environment. Plus, we have our own targets, that is attaining 100% renewable energy by 2025, as well as going on net zero emissions by 2050. And we are aggressively working towards it in the last year we had recycled 99.9% of our hardware and decommissioned hardware, I would say. So yeah, so at Oracle we believe that sustainability is everyone's business, and I completely agree with that motto. It's not one of, it's not the accountability of one of person or one of organizations. All of us have to come together, we have to build that mindset. And for you as Gen Z, not everybody might not be studying sustainability, but you should question yourself, how can I contribute? With my own expertise, how can I make a difference? And that question will give you the answer as to how you can make. And as Smita ma'am said that every entrepreneur has a problem solving skill. You take it a problem on yourself. It's my responsibility. Okay, I did not create pollution. It's my last generation who did it. But it's me who has to suffer out of it. So I have to solve it for myself more than anybody else.
Absolutely, very rightly said. And we have to erase our slate, right? And start afresh to make a greener world again. And in that direction, I must say that Honeywell is also actively working in this area. And Honeywell Hometown Solutions India Foundation Limited, they actually, it's a charitable arm for Honeywell, and they set to plant over 1.2 lakh saplings this year by 2023. And this is a part of larger Honeywell campaign, is a Plant the Future, which is which aim to plant 1 million saplings by across 10 cities by 2032. So it's just to mark the UN decade of ecological restoration. So in that sense, we all are contributing our own part. We all wanted to contribute towards sustainability and make the world greener again. And I'll just come back to Anilji again, that to ask that in view of sustainability, right? How we can improve our surroundings, as a lot of construction, infrastructure work is going on, lot of urban creations going on, pollution is also there, construction is also there. So what are the lot of buildings, all these things are coming up. So what will be your view on that?
Yeah, actually this is a real problem that we in urban areas are facing. During Diwali days, November, December, we find entire area is covered with pollution. So you will be surprised to know 40% of carbon emission comes from construction sector, building sector. That's a huge, and you see how much construction is going on around. And out of that 40% or whatever energy is consumed in the buildings, 20% is due to only air conditioning. And that is a humongous amount, huge amount. Yeah. So I think going forward we will have to look into construction sector as something we create around green building concept. So before this discussion becomes boring, I want to ask the last person, have you heard of green building? Anyone? What is green building? Many of them are feeling bored. Just to make that out. Anyone can raise hand. What is green building? No one? Okay, so it is not any building which is coated with green plaster. No. What we mean by green building, again, it is a term which will sometimes confuse people like you who are just coming up out of schools. So green building means anything which is contributing towards greening of the environment, not planting of trees simply. It is basically the concept of decarbonization or carbon emission that I explained earlier. So you have to build your houses, build your societies, or any construction around green building concept. What is that green building concept? It means you are investing in technologies, as Honeywell rightly said, which will help you to consume lesser of energy. You know 1-star AC, 2-star, 3-star ACs are coming up. So you will have to understand which AC should I select according to my requirement, right? And how much water should I consume? Can I install some water treatment plant? so that the waste that I am creating gets recycled for plantation. So all these concepts help in creating green building. Okay, so that was just to wake you up. I find many of you are feeling bored. So in the construction sector, we will have to focus around this green building. We will have to reuse. If you are renovating your house, reconstruction, you will have to think in terms of whether I can use bricks, doors that have been taken off, or iron. Can I reuse it? Of course, you will not like to reuse it because it gives a some kind of ugly look. But you can remodel it. You can give it a aesthetic sense, right? So then builders or the construction agencies will have to go for product life cycle analysis. So first of all, you will find which product should I use. Like if you know, aluminium manufacturing generates 11 times more carbon dioxide emission than brick manufacturing, 5 times more carbon dioxide emission than copper manufacturing. So would you still like to use aluminium in your housing construction? No. You should use copper in that case. You should use brick, and there are so many materials. You will have to conduct a product life cycle analysis.
Right.
And then you have to conduct the project life cycle analysis. Okay, I have to, what is my objective as an individual? I have to save money, right? But if I have to spend a few bucks more in the beginning, but I can save during the life cycle of the building and entire 50 years, I can consume lesser energy, I have lesser air conditioning load, then I have won the game, not only for my money's sake, but also for environment. So builders have to do it. You have to do it for your own housing construction. So all these concepts, if everyone is able to adopt, then certainly we can reduce this construction pollution and all carbon dioxide emission that is happening around.
Right. Very, very well said, Anilji. And in terms of life cycle analysis, even I just want to add that Honeywell also established Center of Excellence in Madurai for particularly this kind of work, for life cycle analysis of various aspects.
In addition, sometimes we have a misnomer. Okay, I am getting one product from Manipur. Let's say it is costing me cheaper than what I will get in Delhi, so I will source it from there. But we forget, in the process, how much diesel will be consumed in transporting that product from Manipur to Delhi.
Right.
So we have to take into account all these aspects if we have to really look towards sustainability.
So holistic view is required.
Holistic view.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Anil, for your point. Now I'll come back to Advait for this. Like as we are talking about a lot of like sustainabilities and LCA. So what are the new innovations are coming up in the area of sustainability? What do you think?
Oh, thank you so much. On this front, let me go a little bit futuristic because innovations are happening almost on a regular basis that we implemented. But let's talk 10 years ahead. Not even 10 years ahead. I hope that happens much earlier, but feels futuristic. I want to introduce this concept called biomimicry. I don't know how many of you have heard about it or have seen it. So biomimicry basically, if you break down the word, is very simple. Biomimicry, which is mimicking nature or imitating nature. Have you guys heard about Velcro? Velcro is a product of biomimicry. If you remember, as a child running around in fields, those were seeds that sort of get stick to your socks or pants or clothes. That is how Velcros got designed in the first place. This was probably a few decades ago. When I think about now and the immediate future, let's talk about paints. Paint industry is one of the top 5 polluting industries today. Where is paint used? Everywhere. Buildings, cars, any product, our clothes. How does paint really work in terms of presenting different colors to us? It's very simple. We can see different colors because light gets reflected of a particular wavelength to us and we can see different colors. Now imagine if there is no paint, but yet you're able to identify different colors. And how do I get this solution out from nature? Chameleons or octopus. Why are they called the champions of camouflage? It's because the scales or the skin has certain reflectors as their own body parts, which reflect certain kind of light back to you to camouflage it. Now there are innovations in sustainability today that are coming out there. These are coming from academic institutions like yours and many other, where you're able to create materials which will use this principle of light reflection to change color to the person who's seeing it. Imagine the future of our world where all cars are actually steel grey cars, but whenever you see them passing, they are reflecting different color to you. You will eliminate the need for color in a way, and that is one sustainable solution.
Yeah, that's true.
Another example that I would love to talk about is like what is happening right now in our world. All of us are used to ordering stuff from e-commerce website, be it Amazon, be it Flipkart, be it from anywhere. And I'm sure that all of our parents are pained by the fact that we have to keep sending them OTPs to accept them, right? Now, all of this packaging material is also generating a lot of waste. Let's go back to nature and ask nature, how do I solve this problem? Mycelium fungus. It's a fungus that is very easily grown. Similarly, seaweed, which is also very easily grown in the oceans. These both are plants in a way. They can be processed and converted into biomaterial. Mycelium mushrooms can be compacted to create strong insulation and packaging material. Seaweed is now being converted into bioplastic. Tomorrow, most likely the product that we are getting through our Amazons and other e-commerce platforms, you might start seeing labels on the packaging material calling it bioplastic. I would urge everybody to investigate it. Find out what bioplastic they are using. You won't be surprised to see that many of these innovations are coming into our lives through learning from nature. Biomimicry basically says that nature has already designed solutions for all of our problems. It is for us to go and find those solutions and adapt them to our problems. So I think biomimicry is something that as students you have the risk to explore it, learn it, and impress your future recruiters by bringing on solutions which they have never thought about.
Great. I do agree with this point that biomimicry is one area. Even I will also mention one quote that if nature has not produced plastic, then man would have had to invent that. That is the one quote already mentioned by a long time back. It's a C.J. Williams. And it is like it's not only bioplastics. We all need to think on as waste plastic is a one concern. So plastics, how we can make like single-use plastic to eliminate the things, or how we can make the structure simple. So I think if you all have been to the shops, right, and you have seen that Tata Salt packaging with recyclable logo in that. So that is the one project I have worked personally, where we have made that PET-PE structure to PEP structure. So PET-PE is difficult to recycle and PEP is easy to recycle. So we have to work in those kind of solutions, different aspects, right? Bioplastic, then how you can recycle the things, and then how we can how we can convert cradle to grave approach. Besides that, we can convert cradle to cradle approach. How this linear economy can be converted into the circular economy. That is the key. And in view of that only, I will come back to Smita again. That as we all are talking about plastic circularity, so I just want to understand that to beat the plastic pollution, one of the key areas is segregation of plastics, right? So a lot of problems is in and around that actually. Once it will get addressed, then it will be much more easy to actually recycle and make the product circular. So do you see any proposal or any new technologies coming up in this area?
Absolutely. Thanks, Vidyane, for asking me this. And let me just put a comment here. I am learning so much between my two questions because what a great inputs from all the panelists. Thank you so much. And thank you, Vidya, for also setting up the context so well. Indeed, waste segregation is important, and I'll tell you why. Because look at the size of waste we are generating, right? Now, why are we feeling comfortable to generate it? Because there's no tax on generating waste. Throw away as much as you like, right? Though nobody's asking. There is tax on buying things. There's no tax on throwing away. Now, if anybody of this audience has ever seen or visited through Gazipur, Ghaziabad area, you would have seen the huge mountain of waste, which is generating chemical gases and acids, and is catching fire by itself. Yeah, and it's again creating further pollution, air pollution, to the people nearby, who are the most vulnerable people and who are the people who have not generated that waste.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, we have generated that waste and thrown it for them to, take. I mean, not even take care, just for them to suffer through it. So it's if you want to be a responsible citizen, so instead of waiting for the tax on waste generation, and mind you, it will be there. So if anybody believes that we will forever be open to, having that back door open and throw away whatever you like, it's not going to be there. We are going to be taxed very soon. There's a concept of climate justice, which will be applicable to the industries, which is starting to happen, and it should soon be applicable to households also. Now, the kind of wastes we see, or the kind of solutions, technology solutions we see in the segregation, depends on the kind of waste. So we have e-waste, paper waste, bio waste, hazardous waste, chemical waste, we have water waste, we have again paper waste. So depending on the type of waste, depending on the size of or the quantity of waste, we will have the segregation solution. So if it's a household solution, maybe just segregating into blue and green bins would be enough, having the wet waste and dry waste separated. But when we look at the industrial waste, we have quite a few good solutions coming up, technology solutions coming up, which are starting from just plain and simple smart bins, or automated segregating systems, where we use robotic sensors to actually segregate the waste, paper waste separately, metal waste separately. You have magnets pulling up all the, at least. So there are different segregation technologies there. Then there is, of course, robotics added there. These IoT solutions, which she mentioned, that we have, used in water tankers or different places, along with chemical tracers and trackers, to actually understand the nature of waste which is there. We have, of course, blockchain. So why I say blockchain, the use of blockchain there is tremendous pressure on the industries to actually recycle as much as possible out of their waste from CPCB and SPCB, the Central Pollution Control Board and the State Pollution Control Board. So far, it was only that you have to recycle. Then there came a next step that you have to recycle using an authorized recycler, registered recycler, which is registered with Government of India as an authorized recycler. Then there came a next step, which is now beginning to be the baseline expectation out of industries. The fact that you recycled, the fact that you have an authorized recycler, and the fact that you recycled this waste has to be proven. So you have to have a geo-tagging of your waste, that it was picked up from my location, it went to X location through the Y recycler, and that's where they, and we have sent segregated. So we are segregating through our own machineries. And now it's getting recycled at X location by certain recycler. You have to give those geolocation, the date, the quantity of waste you generated, the type of waste you generated, and who picked it up, where it is recycled, because recycling is becoming a very critical aspect. And if you're not only recycling the waste, but also if you're a manufacturing business, you have to start using recycled raw materials. You have to report how much of recycled material are you using in your manufacturing. And all of this cannot happen, like you very rightly said, Vidya. We have to make this linear economy a circular economy.
Absolutely.
So we have to design for sustainability. If we don't segregate, how are you going to make the best of the recycling technologies? Even if we have as good technologies for segregation and recycling, the underlying thing again comes back to the awareness. So if you are not even aware, like today, maybe we wouldn't have these plastic bottles or these plastic pens here if we were aware of an alternate options.
Right.
We clearly are intended to do good and to be a sustainable society, but we are not aware there are biodegradable options. So sustainability, the awareness of these technology solutions is just as much important.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Smita. And geotagging is one of the very interesting thing which you have mentioned about. So we talked about recycling, we talked about bioplastic, we talked about segregation. Now all this actually related with the plastic waste management, right? So I will just come to Astuti about it, that what will be your view on plastic waste management?
And thanks Vidya again for the question and the insight which one of the panelists have shared so far. So just another wake-up call, a question for all the audience. What is common between the deepest part of the ocean, that is Mariana Trench, and the highest peak of Mount Everest? Anybody from the audience? Absolutely. I'm not sure if I should be happy about it, that you answered it correctly, or sad. But yeah, that is the sad
It's
truth.
very unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah, that's the sad truth. Actually, it's even sad that we are sitting here and discussing this. It should not have been the case, but we have left it so far and we have to solve it today. And so we are here. So yeah, that's the plastic waste, tiny particles of plastic. Plastic is no longer what we can see, it's also microplastic, what we breathe. So we are drowning in plastic, and it's an alarming situation, and that's the reason why Environment Day is dedicated to beat plastic as the theme. And now talking about plastic waste management. So now giving some statistics also. Since 1950, we have generated approximately 9.2 or maybe more billion tons of plastic, out of which only maybe 1/4 is recycled, and or even, I would say 6.9 billion is actually going to the landfills or to the oceans, and impacting the marine life. So that's the number. Continuously, we are generating more than 430 billion or 430 million of tons of plastic every year worldwide. And 10% of, less than 10%, I think Hitesh sir mentioned 9% is recycled. So where does the rest of the plastic goes? Of course, it's not recycled, so it ends up either in the natural resources like ocean, seas, or maybe in the landfills like we mentioned about the mountains that we have, the garbage mountains we have. And the worst is that it gets contaminated with the organic and other types of waste, and make it even more difficult situation to survive. So plastic waste management is definitely critical and crucial, and a worrisome situation for us. We all are aware of 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. We all know how to, or maybe I assume that we do know. I will kind of reiterate if we don't. So reduce, of course, we should see that do we actually need it? Can we reduce? Can we carry a reusable bag? Can we change the lifestyle changes as an individual? We need to create awareness among people who do not understand that what implication it has. It's kind of amazing to see how a small kid talked about plastic, and it makes us proud to see that, okay, some awareness is there. They are not as dumb. So at least a kid talking about it, I at times feel that telling kids and explaining kids is easier than actually teaching an old person. Somebody littering on the road, it becomes difficult for you to explain not to do that.
Yeah,
they think that it's their right. And you won't believe, my daughter, who has been an inspiration for me to move to this area, and I was talking to Vidya about this. One day she went with my father for grocery shopping. She did not let him take the grocery in the plastic polythene. So my father was angry about it, but I felt so proud of it. So yeah, so we do understand reduce is one way of it, and reuse the plastic as much as possible so that you can increase the lifespan of it. Ditch single-use plastic as much as possible, and recycle it. Recycle is very important, and where the talk of waste segregation comes in the picture. I'm sure we are not everybody is doing that in their household. Let's the charity begin from home. And we individuals have a big role to play. To some extent, industries and bigger organizations are still doing or taking steps towards these because they are bound to take it. As she mentioned, there are a lot of regulations coming in. You can't help it. There is some traffic police sitting who is checking that you are wearing helmet or not, and you have to wear it. But when he's not there, you skip it. So that's the intent. Like we are kind of brought up this year. I would say we are kind of raised in a way where we like to skip things until unless we are forced to do so. So the self motivation is important. And coming back to the circular economy for plastic. So right now, circular economy has become very famous and a talked about thing for plastic, for fuels, for materials, for resources, mining, and everywhere it's there. And essentially, it's not at the flag end of the life cycle of any product. It's at the very first or as a first step. We have to start with redesigning our products, the way we design products. We have to see if we can diversify. Is it plastic the only material that can be used for creating this product? Are there alternatives available? So there are aspects which we have to think before actually we create, and we have to innovate in those areas, like Sir mentioned about the biomimicry. So can we actually do with some products made out of it rather than actually using the plastic? So plastic itself is durable, it's flexible, and that's where we are suffering because it's so durable that it doesn't even die. So
it's like a blessings and boon both, right?
Correct.
How we use it, how we dispose it, that is in our hand, right?
Absolutely.
So we came long way. I'm volunteer of recycling very much. That it's like in 1930s we were invented like plastics for our thing, and a lot of good properties are there, right? It's a lightweight and it's like easy to carry. But only thing how we use it,
Correct.
how we dispose it, that is need to be directed.
True.
So thanks a lot, Astuti, for your viewpoint. Now, like even I just wanted to mention that even as Hitesh also mentioned in his talk, that Honeywell is like very aggressively working. Our like 60% portfolio is related, or our R&D revenues are related with ESG activities, and even our whatever the portfolio we are working on, our R&D spend is also in towards this kind of activities. So we are very big volunteer for all these kind of like how we can create the difference, how we can create sustainability in like our part of work, so that all the world can think about it. So coming back to Anilji for this last question, that how can we as an individual drive the sustainability?
Yeah, actually this subject is very close to my heart. Actually, I try to practice in my daily life. So again, my way of speaking is always to interact with audience. So maybe audience doesn't like me. So wake up call, audience. So can you tell me one thing in this auditorium which is not sustainable? One by one, maybe first row. Anything which is not sustainable. Okay, next row. Just look around. Okay, next row. Plastic bottles, right? Any other thing? Tube lights, okay. You cannot survive without tube lights. Any other thing, okay. CFC in air conditioning, right? Panel behind me, very right, plastic panel, good. Keen observers. Any other thing from the last benches? Sorry, mic I'm holding. Okay. So very rightly said, few of the things are non-sustainable, but we have to live with it. So if we come one by one, these plastic bottles, I prefer not to drink in these plastic bottles. So I have not taken a sip when I have come to your auditorium. When I go to any resort, I ask the managers there to supply me water in those kettles, not plastic bottles. In our office, we have a policy that no plastic bottles will be used. In a conference, water will be kept in glass jars. If glass jars are not there or an office boy is to deliver water, he would first ask how many people want water. Just not that bring 20 glasses of water when only 5 people want to drink it and 15 are thrown down the gutter. So you have to exercise this kind of regulation on yourself. Okay, next question. How many of you use air conditioner at 20 degrees Celsius? Just raise hand. 20 degree? Just raise hand, no shame यार. धीरे धीरे बढ़ रहे हैं. Okay, between 20 to 22 degrees Celsius. Only 3. 24 degrees Celsius. Maximum are using 24 degrees Celsius. Very good. So, if some of you have studied mechanical engineering, I'm not sure if engineers are there. So, mechanical engineering air conditioning subject teaches you that the comfort zone for a human body is between 24 to 26 degrees Celsius and 60% relative humidity. So that means using air conditioner at 20 degrees Celsius and then using a blanket all over to avoid the chill is not sustainable. But using an air conditioner in this auditorium is sustainable because you have to survive, right? But again, if your temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, it is not sustainable. So keeping temperature from 22 degree to 24 degree, it saves you 70% of your energy bill. And 23 to 24, it saves you 50% of your energy bill. So would you not like to save energy and save your electricity bill? Please do that. Then there are many other things, Vidya, when you asked me this question, I digress. So there are many other things that we can use. We have now aerated faucets. हम जो घरों में नल यूज करते हैं, नलों में आजकल एयर के साथ पानी आता है. Many of you might be knowing it. तो वो आपको एक फीलिंग देता है कि पानी का प्रेशर है, वॉल्यूम बहुत अच्छा है, पर एक्चुअली पानी कम आ रहा है उसमें, तो यू आर कंजर्विंग ऑन वाटर. ओके, यू कैन यूज सोलर पैनल्स, rooftop panel or centralized solar power generation. You can use solar lightings. Water harvesting is one thing that you can always use, even in your societies. If you search on internet some rainwater harvesting at home, you will find so many pictures, beautiful pictures. Like a balcony से एक टैंक लटका दिया है और जितना भी बालकनी में रेन वाटर आता है वो सारा उस टैंक में कलेक्ट हो जाता है. And then you have pipe system which connects it to your cistern or wash basin. Like all of us are very avid user of Instagram and WhatsApp. So many videos come where I was watching one Japanese video. What they have done on the toilet seat cistern, they have installed one wash basin. So whatever waste is generated by washing your hands, it goes in this cistern, and the same gets used for flushing. So all these kind of things, if you are watching WhatsApp, if you are watching Instagram, just implement it in your day-to-day life. That is the whole objective of this discussion.
Thanks for your insight. I'll come back to that for last question. That as we all have a lot of young and creative minds here, so what are the challenges you would like to give in terms of sustainability to them?
Thanks question. Great question, Adya. So I think the biggest challenge that all of us face, and me included, it is not just you guys, is that whenever most of us spend a large amount of time outside our house, right? Which means that either we have to carry our own food and water, or we have to go and purchase it. The biggest challenge that we have to overcome is to start becoming a cautious buyer. wherever you go to buy something, think about it. Take a second, take a few more seconds, and figure out whether do you really need to buy it. If you really need to buy it, the next question should be whether whatever you are buying is how much environmental friendly it is. For example, we all like chips, right? Let's go out. Instead of buying chips, is an apple or a banana or a bunch of grapes or something that is more naturally produced, locally available, and probably more easy to go waste if not purchased. Is that a better option to choose? Second thing is water bottle. We had a huge discussion about water bottle, and some of you probably also know that this water bottle discussion happened in Anand Mahindra's office also a few years ago during his board meeting, and there was a big Twitter storm around it. But I think a big learning for me myself is why not carry your own water bottle which can be refilled? It's very easy to maintain your own water bottle. Fill it up wherever you get a chance, be it at home, be it at your institution, be it even at a hotel. So just eliminate the idea of consuming things just because they are affordable or available. And the third thing that I would like to give you as a challenge is 1 hour every week, just 1 hour, maybe not even more than that if you don't like it, but 1 hour every week, just spend it in immersing yourself in nature. Anywhere, be it in your own balcony, garden, besides a tree, in a park, if it's a forest close by to you, if your native home has an ocean besides it, a lake, a pond, 1 hour every week to immerse yourself. Even if that is inconvenient to step out, spend 1 hour reading or watching something about nature. There is so much to learn out there, and 1 hour is definitely, you just realize that 1 hour is not enough after that. So yeah, that's my challenge.
Wonderful. That's a really very good point to make, because we are so much used to of the things and we never respect nature, that how much or how abundance nature gives to us. So if we will be close to nature, we will realize that we should be thankful to nature, that how are the things there.
You'll also find a lot of solutions for your
Yeah,
problems.
absolutely. You never know your income at any time. So now it's the last question, and come back to Smita, that how the entrepreneur ecosystem is working for this sustainable solution.
Absolutely. So what does an entrepreneur's ecosystem mean? It is their customers, it is their employees, the government or the regulatory bodies, it is the media and the PR, it is the investors, the stakeholders, the shareholders, and of course, if you pull it a little back, it will be the incubators and accelerators that support these entrepreneurs initiatives. So when I look at this entire ecosystem, first thing is a problem as humongous as we are facing right now in terms of sustainability cannot be solved by one individual person or one individual business or one individual institutional body or one individual conference like this. It will have to be the entire ecosystem to come together to work towards it. As much as policy advocacy is important, building right policies are important, as much as action on it is important. So the entrepreneur's job is more on the action side, I would say. We have people who from civil society and non-profits who are pretty much, the activism part. They support the activism part, they do the policy advocacy part. Our job as an entrepreneur is to actually actionate all those policies, actionate all those initiatives. So when I look at the entire ecosystem, the way it looks to me today is customer wants more sustainable solutions, and the biggest proof point that any one of us can actually check is if you Google for a flight today, Google will tell you this flight has this many emissions.
Yes.
From the same point A to point B, different carriers, different timings will have different emissions. You get to choose basis emissions also. Why would Google waste its time and energy doing that if we were not asking for it? So the customer is seeking that. There is this brand called Allbirds in the US that makes apparels and shoes. They have started printing how many emissions they've saved by using plastic to build this, how much plastic they've used. They built whether a track pant or a shoes, and they have started to print on their particular apparel 25 point K CO2e, which means that's what they have seen. So clearly the customer is asking for it. From the investor's perspective, investors are becoming more and more responsible, whether much like entrepreneurs, whether we like it or we don't. There are a lot of, we were talking earlier, Mr. Anil, that investors like ADBs, IFCs, they are putting their foot down that we will only invest in sustainable solutions, which means if entrepreneurs want those businesses, want those money from those investors, then they have to become more and more compliant to this sustainability. In fact, part of my job, part of what Pandoro does, is environment and social due diligences of these startups and SMEs for the investors, so that the investors invest in them. So that's what we do, and it's becoming a reality. So the ecosystem is driving. Whenever we have to build a change in the society, and right now we are working towards arresting the climate change, whether it is through resilience or adaptation, what we need are two things: intent and resources, right? We as entrepreneurs basically are a very resourceful set of people. When I say resourceful, doesn't mean we have all the resources. It just means that we are used to working with limited resources. We figure it out. There's a term that Mr. Devang Mehta, who was the founding president of NASSCOM, he used to call Jugaad, and it's very famous in Silicon Valley as Indian solution. So we as entrepreneurs are good at that part. But now the new age entrepreneurs are much like, we used to have only very few visionary entrepreneurs in the past. So we look at Mr. Ratan Tata or Ratan Tata ji or his Navroji Tata with a lot of respect, because we have very few of them, the Birlas and Tatas, very few of them. Today, the new age entrepreneurs, which are coming up pretty much from this set of people, are very, very cautious of it already. So the entrepreneur ecosystem is not only being changed because of the policies and the investors, but the basic entrepreneurs who are coming into the system have a very good sense of ethical right and wrong, of the long-term vision on the business for sustainability of the planet. So we actually look at more businesses today when we are doing the due diligence, and it makes us so happy that the new age startups, they're so cautious, they're so open to changes. I say you don't have a whistleblower policy. Now that's not really an environment thing, that's more on the social side. They'll be like, we'll build it, we'll make it work. If I still ask an older organization, please tell me why this X person is on your board, because that comes as the governance part of sustainability. That a good, healthy, ethical business would be knowing why a person is on their board and what's the skill set and what are they contributing to the business, and they are not just sitting there because he's some chacha tau mama of that person. Yeah, they're not open to it. They're still not open to it. You have to, and so government is getting tired with the civil behavior. You want to throw everything on this road and then look at the government, oh, the city is not clean. You want to build poor, corrupt businesses, and then you want to look at the government that, oh my God, this scam happened. Yes, government is supposed, so government is like, okay beta, lo ek naya tax lo. You want under tax? Segregation nahi karoge to tax. Waste ज़्यादा create करोगे तो tax, because we are not changing our behavior in this. But the entrepreneurs certainly are changing, the mindset is changing, the ecosystem is definitely moving in a very positive direction, whether it is again from the investor side, the policy builder side, the civil society side. Customers are definitely a big push for building more sustainable solutions.
Great answers, Smita. Thank you so much. And last question of the day from Astuti. As we all talked about a lot of personal or individual roles, so as an individual, what are the steps someone can take for a sustainable lifestyle?
Thanks for the question, and I'm so happy to talk about it, because I'm someone who was influenced to move towards sustainability after my daughter was born. I took it as a responsibility, and I felt, what am I giving to her? If I earn money, I can give her money, but can she buy air from money? Can she buy water from money? So I took it too personal to myself, that I have to do something about it, even if I cannot help it in the holistically, or even I alone cannot solve it. I at least contribute towards it, so that I can miles to go before I sleep, that kind of a thing. So at least I can take a step towards it. So as an individual, like Sir mentioned, there are many steps that we can take, starting from carrying your own water bottle, ditching the straws, get a steel pipe, I have it at my home, wherever you go, because kids are very fancy. They want everything by us, whatever it is. Day before yesterday, I was watching a video on one of the social media wherein they talked about the automatic machine for coconut water. They actually opened the coconut water, put it in a plastic cup and give it. I thought, why is it needed at all? It comes with a natural packaging, and we are so fascinated of having it in the coconut shell itself. So they are problem solvers, they are problem makers as well around. So better let's not be one among them. So yes, carrying your own, ditching single-use plastic wherever possible, having reusable bag, create awareness in your society and your environment. Wherever you go, talk about it. Be self-motivated. In our society, we have reusable bags kept at the cart, like at the entrance of at the gate. So whenever I forget to carry one, I pick it from there, buy my grocery, return it back. So is it that difficult? Like, there are things which are very easy which we can own up. Throwing green parties. Now these days I feel very hurt when I see, when I go to parties and there's a lot of, and we are party persons. This generation is party person. And you guys are the most party person, I must say. So we do not really believe in having dishes which are glass, etc. Plastic is so convenient. Let's just buy disposable, use it and throw it. There's no headache of cleaning over there. So I know opting for sustainable approach is difficult at times. It's not that convenient. For some of us, it's even not convenient to carry the water bottles as well. So convenience obviously varies from the motivation we have. But at the same time, making right choices, especially making right decisions. Every time you go and pick up anything or do anything in your daily life, just question yourself. Do you need it? Say you're buying something like he mentioned. At the first place, do you need it? Do you already have enough of it? If not, give it, wait for a week. I'm sure you will not need it after a week. So that is one way of looking at recycling it. Do it composting at home. I do it. So waste segregation is one area, but why don't you use your organic waste for your own plants? So start doing composting. Look for ways and means to exercise sustainability, create awareness, stir people who are numb, and contribute and take judicious choices which can actually result in a better environment and a better future.
Thanks a lot, Asmita. So what a wonderful discussion today. I can say it's 1 hour is so much overwhelming with the knowledge, with the things. I really thankful to all the panels. I learned a lot about a lot of things. It's a technology is also its own pace and a lot of solutions which are existing. So now floor is open for question and answer. If somebody is having any questions, please they can just ask now, all the panel members.
I have a question. So, as you mentioned, the paint industry is actually one of the top 5 most polluting industries in the world. And you mentioned that mimicry plastics, right? Biomimicry. So, as a person who's coming from a commerce background, and if I want to start my own business in the future, so since day one, it is instilled in our systems that the primary motive of running a business is to earn profits. Doing all of these and incorporating this in my operations would cost me a lot of money. So how do you think that budding entrepreneurs why do you think budding entrepreneurs would like to, start their businesses sustainably?
Great question. And I have been an entrepreneur myself. 2008 to 2012, I ran my own company in waste management, purely commercial outlook. मुझे पैसे बनाने हैं लोगों का waste manage करके. What I realized quickly is that I'm trying to put together a sustainable solution for a business case. I lost a lot of money. I had to leave that organization, find a job. Right? So I think what has changed since 2008 to now is the fact that as an entrepreneur, these thoughts of having a sustainable product are much more embedded in you. That helps you create a business case around it. For example, what ma'am said. If you don't have a sustainable product going ahead, there will be some kind of an economic cost behind it that we will have to pay at a later end. It's important to recognize that, take that bet, and prepare your business plan or prepare your outlook towards business with accommodating that sustainability cost up front. For example, if you want to look at something around biomimicry, right? How does biomimicry really work? It is not just about replacing, not just biomimicry, any sustainable solution. It's not just about replacing non-sustainable with sustainable. It is about identifying where all you will save. Humpback whales, I think all of us have seen them at least on television somewhere, right? Humpback whales are close to 400 tons in weight, and they end up literally flying up from the water, jumping up and falling down back in the water. How do they do it? Their fins are designed in a particular way which allow them to propel themselves up. Now that design of fins is being incorporated into windmills. Why would somebody want to do that? Windmills are so simply designed, they're operating everywhere, there is already a business case for it. What they have been able to calculate is that having that design is increasing their energy efficiency, which means that if I am an unsustainable designed windmill, I will generate maybe X amount of electricity. You who have incorporated sustainable solutions in your business practices will end up generating 50 or maybe 2x of that energy. Who's better at business now? You, right? Because you're creating more yield, you will earn more out of it. But the risk that you took was spend your initial amount of time in research and planning to incorporate that system. It comes at a cost, definitely. But you have to figure out what that cost is going to be and whether you can recover it going ahead or not. And yeah, I think that's how I believe in the sort of incubating sustainable solutions in your business to get an edge out of it. Plus, being very blunt, the next 10 years we are seeing a lot of climate money coming into this sector. So part of that risk is getting de-risked by a bunch of people, governments, foundations, large corporates. They're already ready to put that money. All you have to do is make sure that you are thinking at that same line of thought.
What's your name?
Diamshi.
Thanks, Diamshi, for asking this question. Let me just add a very quick all the details that I've it's already very nicely explained. So you are right to think that the core idea of business is profit, because that's what management schools have been teaching for a very long time. You go to IIM, all they want is numbers. However, the things have changed. A lot of things have started to add environmental costs. Things which we took for granted for free, air, water, soil, all of it. Now we are beginning to realize it's not really free. So the bottom line is now a triple bottom line. You as a business are not just judged by profit. It's people, planet, profit. So it's how much good you are for the planet, how much you are making profit of course, but how good you are for the people. These all three are being judged. And this is not just theory that I'm telling you. Organizations like Visa, Visa cards you have, right? Every single employee's salaries and incentives are added to their achieving their ESG goals. So if the organization misses their environmental, social and governance goals, every single employee from zero to the CEO will have to take a cut in their salaries. So it's becoming just as important. Money. So think of it like if an investor wants to invest, today half of my business come from a business where investors ask me, Smita, who's a better business between the two? So given two of them making the same amount of profits, I get a choice to say this is better because they emit less, their water footprint is lower, their social practices are very good, their work safety environment is very good. So we get to say that. And investors will make that choice because if a business is not doing that, they become a reputational risk to the investor for future also. Again, not only just money, you will not get people like Divyanshi to work for you because they want to work for a purpose-led business. You won't get customers. Customers will take away your social license to operate in the society if you do not operate sustainably. And I'm again not talking theory, I'm not talking about jazz. I'm being so practical because the indexes, the stock exchanges are not going to just look at now profits. There's a term called impact weighted metrics, which is going to come in, and indexes are going to adopt that. What does that mean? How much of money and what is the trade-off on environment and social aspects? That is going to get added, and the stock exchanges will start listing you accordingly. So this is all a reality in next 5 years, next 7 years. So it's like, if you all want to be, any one of you wants to be an entrepreneur and make a business, please take this not with a pinch of salt, as a very strict warning. If it is not a sustainable business, if it is not a planet positive business, trust me, you will not survive. Mark my words. Thank you.
As you mentioned that customers would not let the companies live and their reputation would decrease. But what about the fast fashion industry right now? As we know, Shein, H&M, Zara, one of the topmost companies in that particular industry are not sustainable, and yet people are using their products. Even I, as a consumer, use their products. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, my thoughts is, if they don't make sustainable products, they will go down, and they know it better, right? They know it better than you and me, that they will go down. So what have they started to do? They've started to add that tag there, that we are sustainable, we have used these many buckets of water, this is how we have sourced the things, and guess what? They did clean washing, which means they said we are good, but they were not good. So guess what? August 2022, a client said, you're making a fool out of me. You're making me pay higher cost for your product, saying you are a sustainable product, and you're selling yourself more because me being the responsible customer, I will buy yours. So you're making profits out of me by fooling me. So they sued the organization. So you should look up H&M case. They lost it, multi-millions, very soon, and it's like not even been a year. They lost those many dollars. A, they are being forced to say they are sustainable, because otherwise customers won't buy. Two, if they say it wrong, customers will go back and sue. So they have no choice but to set their supply chain right. They have to adopt sustainability. There is no choice. So the fast fashion, as fast it will look to us because it's changing. At the back end, they're making the right decisions. I hope they are, because otherwise we will not let them survive. That's a promise.
Just to add to that, I think again the word cautious buyer comes to my mind. Any clothes that we buy, whether it is fast fashion or any sustainable clothing, do you know how many number of days can the same, let's say, t-shirt can be worn for? Close to 9,000 days of use is what is the length of a t-shirt. 9,000 of use days. I'm not saying 9,000 days it has been in my almirah, right? Now think about that. The reason I know this because I investigated and I realized, okay, I don't need so many clothes. I will cautiously take a step back away from that fast fashion. I think that's again comes back to what you can do is, yes, wherever required, you spend that money, you spend that energy, you spend those resources. Wherever not required, be cautious.
At the end of the day, I think awareness is the key, and you have to be like a conscious buyer or the conscious. We all have to take one step forward and make the changes, right? We can educate to others as well for this direction. Do you know that? Because for sustainability, it need not to be like you are from art background or commerce background. Sustainability is in your mindset. How you can drive the changes in your lifestyle. How you can make others to give them knowledge, and so that they can implement those changes and work towards it. Any other question? Otherwise, we'll just, I think, exceeded our time.
So I am very much thankful to ma'am and the management for taking the very first step of replacing the water bottles with glass. Thank you very much. And as a gratitude for this step, I would like to offer my free service to help you design air conditioning and lighting system which is inefficient here. This is free of cost, and your person can approach me. My person will help you design. Thank you.
Last, I think we are just concluding this panel discussion. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, audience. And thank you, all of you, for very insightful discussion. Thank you, Sita. Thank you, Apurva. Thank you, Sita.
Who you?
It was indeed a learning and interactive session for all of us. I'm sure we all got to learn something and resolve all our doubts.
I request all the guests to please remain seated. As we head towards the closure of today's session, we would like to take this privilege to felicitate our esteemed guests. I now request Dr. Meenakshi Narula to kindly join us on the stage for the felicitation.
I request Dr. Vidya Gupta to kindly accept a token of appreciation from our side for moderating an amazing session today.
Now, I request Mr. Anil Kumar Mittal to kindly accept a token of our appreciation.
I request Ms. Asati Juman to kindly accept a token of our gratitude.
Now, I request Mr. Ved Joshi to kindly accept a token of our appreciation.
I now request Ms. Smita Pandey Mishra to kindly accept a token of our gratitude.
I now request Ms. Sita Lakshmi Nair to kindly accept a token of our gratitude.
I would now like to request Mr. Suresh Babu to kindly accept a token of our gratitude.
We are grateful that Mr. Hitesh Mehta could join us online. I request all the greetings to kindly take their seats. Thank you everyone. Now I request the faculty coordinator of the Eco Club and IIC, Ms. Divya Gupta, to propose the vote of thanks.
So on the onset, we have talked a lot about sustainability. One thing I would also like to add on this is that being healthy is also being sustainable. If you are healthy, you maintain one size, you can use those clothes again and again. So being healthy is one of the most sustainable things. So on this note, I would I hope our students have gained a lot out of this discussion. And on behalf of the Department of Information Technology, Eco Club, and Institutions Innovation Council of JIMS Vasant Kunj, I would like to thank Dr. Vidya Gupta for moderating the discussion beautifully and bringing out as much knowledge from the panelists as possible. Also, I would like to thank our esteemed panelists for taking out time and discussing the burning issues. I would like to thank Honeywell ICT Academy and their representatives, Mr. Suresh Babu and Mr. Hitesh Mehta, for partnering with us for this event. I would like to thank our esteemed chairman, Dr. Amit Gupta, for always encouraging us for such events. Our director, Dr. Ravi Kedar, for motivating us. our Dr. Meenakshi Narula. She has been the force behind us for this event. All our faculty and staff for coordinating with us for this event. I would also like to thank Jim Skalkaji for being the facilitator. And finally, our dear students, who are the underlying reason behind the conduct of such events. So thank you so much everyone for this wonderful discussion. It was a great time we had with you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your address. And with this, we have reached the end of today's panel discussion. Thank you all for being a part of it.
I request all the dignitaries to kindly join us for a group photograph.
Coordinators can also come on the stage for a group photograph. Divya? Sujitra ma'am, please come. Sonal ma'am, you can also come, please. Yeah, Esas from ICT.
सर थोड़ा सा ओके थैंक यू थोड़ा सा सर आ गया जी सर ओके शांति रखो भाई जाएंगे